Good morning. I'm Carlton Sharp, pastor of Faith Christian Center Church, right here in Beaumont, Texas, and we're here on what's happening in our neighborhood. And today, my special guest is Dr. Shannon Allen. Welcome, Doc.
Thank you, Pastor Sharp. Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, tell us a little bit about yourself real quick.
Well, Shannon Allen, born and raised in Beaumont, Texas. I am the proud superintendent of the Beaumont Independent School District. This is my first year in this position.
Wow.
I have been in Beaumont Independent School District for my entire career. Started out many years ago as a substitute and have been blessed and fortunate to serve as the leader of the district today.
Okay, so look, before we get into the information that we're going to share with the public today, let's go back to the beginning of this first school year. How about that?
Yes.
Well, that's how we started the school year.
Yes.
I mean, it was exciting.
We had a phenomenal start to this school year. You saw that little logo, EM Squared.
Yes.
Every moment matters.
Every moment matters.
That is our philosophy by which we will execute our work. We will be intentional and maximize the time that we have with our children. And then guess what happened?
The storm hit. Yeah.
September 19th.
September 19th. Talk to us about that.
So September 19th, of course, Tropical Storm Imelda impacted our entire community. You can see on that video slide the devastation that occurred throughout our entire community of Beaumont, Texas, and some of our surrounding areas. Pastor Sharp, that Wednesday, the day before, we had a board meeting that night. It was raining. But we were accustomed to, we knew that it was going to rain. We were expecting, 4 to 6 inches of rain.
Correct.
Well, we ended the board meeting, went home. It kept raining. So our emergency operations committee member, which is Chief Malbrough, he called me that night. He said, Dr. Allen is not looking too good right now.
Right,
so we need to think about, what we want to do. So we made the decision to delay school. We delayed school 2 hours. It kept raining.
Wow.
And it kept raining. And it kept raining. So we're continuing to monitor the weather all night. We ended up, of course, canceling school for that Thursday because when I went outside at about 3:30 in the morning and I saw my street was flooded, I knew that the entire community was flooded as well because it looked just like Harvard.
Wow.
So 2 of our campuses were severely impacted. And if you want to pull up a couple of those slides, we can share with the community. Beaumont United High School as well as Phil Price Elementary School were severely impacted with flood waters throughout those campuses. Phil Price had around 6 inches throughout the entire campus, and Beaumont United is composed of multiple buildings. So Beaumont United's campus had water in almost all of the buildings. A few did not, but many of them had a significant amount of water.
Yeah, but we could see the devastation that was in both of those schools.
Yes. So when we're talking about getting school up and running, right after the tropical storm hit, that Friday, you know, we were trying to get on the campuses immediately to start assessing damages, to see what needed to be corrected. Of course, our other campuses had minor things, very minor that we could quickly, repair, get cleaned up so we could start school. We started school back last Thursday. However, for Beaumont United and Fair Price, totally different story.
Wow.
So with Fair Price, we are well into restoration, but massive amounts.
Massive amount of work.
At Beaumont United High School as well, tear-outs. Beaumont United, we had to remove all of the furniture.
Yeah, because we have a picture of the layout of Beaumont United.
So as you can see from this slide, Beaumont United is composed of numerous buildings. Highlighted in orange are the buildings that we're going to be able to get back up for restart for Beaumont United, which is October 14th. So the remaining buildings that are not highlighted, we still have extensive work that needs to be completed in those buildings before students will be able to come back in. So we had to come up with a plan in order to get our kids back in school. You know, one of the things that we received feedback on was why did it take so long? Well, I don't think everyone understands the scope of the damage, number one, and there was significant damage, and we had to assess that. We had to follow protocols that are established, environmental safety protocols. We have to follow those things and be specific. Yes, sir.
Because you can't put kids back into an environment that's
not
toxic.
Safe. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mentioned earlier, all of the desks and the furniture had been removed and thrown away from Beaumont United. We have to order new furniture and new desks. The floor tiles are all been removed from Beaumont United. Several of the older buildings, Beaumont United has older buildings and then some newer buildings. The older buildings, which have been there for years and years, that sustained damage, more work has to be put into those facilities in order to get them up and running. So, the feedback of, well, why did it take so long? Well, as you can see from those pictures that you showed earlier, the entire campus received so much. The only parts of the campus that did not receive any damage, I will tell you, the main administration office.
Okay.
The main gym.
Okay.
The large gym.
Right.
The science annex. There's a science annex.
The one that's closer to 4th Street. Yes.
Near 4th Street. And the old gym.
Okay.
The old gym.
So the front part on Fournette Road to the gymnasiums, that walkway got damaged.
The left side, all of those buildings, received some type of water, the cafeteria. And our new building, the 900, the 9th grade building, we just built that a year ago to accommodate Beaumont United High School's 9th grade students. That building came out pretty good, so there was not any.
Well, talk to us about the historical background of this.
Well, what was so frustrating is that the same students who were impacted by Tropical Storm Imelda were impacted 2 years ago, about 25 months ago, actually, during Hurricane Harvey. So you have students who, during Harvey, we lost a facility. We lost Central High School.
Correct.
Because of the sustained damage to that campus, we ended up having to move Central High School students to 2 locations, similar to what we're doing today.
Amazing.
Same thing again. And then 2 years later, these students who are juniors and seniors are going through the exact same thing with their school. So right now, we restarted all of our schools with the exception of Beaumont United and Fair Price last Thursday, which was I'm trying to think of last Thursday's date. I'm not sure. Last Thursday. Well, Beaumont United and Fair Price students are still out of school.
That'd be the 26th.
So we restarted on the 26th. So Fair Price and Beaumont United students have not returned to school yet. They are still out of school. So October the 14th, we announced last Friday that October the 14th was going to be our restart day for Beaumont United and Fair Price. So we followed a process for restarting. Of course, assessing the damages. Of course, following certain protocols. And we wanted to determine what current options do we have available in our district right now.
Correct.
Looking at facilities, looking at capacities of our facilities, looking at the current enrollment, looking at what programs and options are available at all of our campuses so that we could come up with the decision that is the least disruptive.
Because that's what I was going to ask you about. What are some of the options that you and your staff decided to look at in order to be, to deal with this challenge that you're having?
So if you can pull up that slide that has the options, and I'll share, with the community what we thought about during this process. Well, Beaumont United, the portions that we can get up, and I want to clarify something. Beaumont United, we are going to bring students back into the usable portion of the campus on October 14th.
Gotcha.
However, it's not going to be all pretty and perfect and look as though it did before the tropical storm.
That's good.
There are no tiles, cement floors. I have no doors. No doors on any classrooms.
Wow.
No doors in those facilities because of the water that was absorbed. Some of the cabinets have been torn out. We're getting new furniture. So we're going to replace tile. We're going to replace doors as those things come in.
Gotcha.
We'll do it over the Christmas vacation, Thanksgiving and Christmas vacations. We'll do those things then.
And I think that's good to tell the public right now, Dr. Allen, because some parents will look at that and say, hey, my child doesn't have, tile on the floor.
So parents, when your students go to school on October 14th at the main campus, which will be the 10th through 12th grade students, please expect a few things. We won't have the creature comforts of doors on our classrooms yet. We don't have tile floors, so we'll be operating on cement floors. But that's okay, because in reality, all we need is the teacher and the students so we can start teaching and resuming instruction. Those things will be restored, but we wanted to get students into the facilities as quickly as we possibly could. So when your students come home on the first day after the restart, and they say, oh, Mom, Dad, we didn't even have this. We didn't have doors on our class. I assure you that the environment is safe, it is clean, and our students will continue to learn. Okay?
That's good. That's good.
Yes.
That's
but
good.
I don't want them to be surprised by that, because they may expect that their school will look exactly as it did. It will be restored.
Right.
But it won't. It takes time.
It takes time.
It takes time.
So let's go back to your options that you had to consider.
So some of our options, one of those options was adding portables. Well, we have access to around 70 or 76 classrooms will be available on the main campus. D Hall, E Hall, C Hall will not be available. So that's a significant number of classrooms that are needed. So the possibility of adding portables, that was something that we considered, but for the number of portables we would need to add and the time it takes to actually build those portables out, because you have to build walkways, electricity, plumbing, it would take
6 to 8 weeks.
Yes. I mean, it would take weeks to truly get that done.
Wow.
So that wasn't an option for us. We looked at the enrollment capacities of our facilities. If you can pull up the next slide, I wanted to share something with the team. So that's our middle school campuses. So we looked at all of the enrollments for the past 4 years and this current year and the program options that were available there. And you see the trend where our largest middle schools, our smaller middle schools, our smallest being South Park, which currently has around 418 students. And we looked at the capacity of the facilities. So we analyzed everything. We were originally, of course, as one of the options, considering doing the same thing we did with Hurricane Harvey.
Gotcha.
Which was to utilize that Austin Innovation Center, move those programs out, move a portion of Beaumont United to that facility, and leaving the remaining students on the 10th through 12th grade campus at Beaumont United. Well, because the early college has grown and expanded, I wanted to move them to South Park to work in that same facility with the South Park students.
Correct.
But it didn't work. Logistically, it doesn't work because of the expansions in the Beaumont Early College High School. New programs, more students. I contacted Dr. Howard, who was so gracious to us during Harvey, and he allowed our entire campus to reside on his campus.
Wow. And they're growing.
They're growing. They have grown significantly.
Right.
So he wasn't able to accommodate that request. He could accommodate some students, but he could not accommodate the number of students that we would have needed. So when we looked at that option, that didn't work. We looked at the possibility of privately owned facilities. But one thing that's important to me is to restore a sense of normalcy to our students. So to put you in a commercial building,
it
in this
doesn't feel like school.
factory, that's not creating an environment that is as normal as possible to help our students succeed. So that wasn't an option. One of the options that was considered was splitting time with Westbrook High School. Well, other districts have had to do this as a result of hurricanes, meaning you have one campus goes in the morning and then the other campus goes in the afternoon, so your students are going to school half a day. Well, that's not an option. For me, our kids need to be in school half a day. Instruction full day. We don't need to disrupt the entire high school population. And
because that would have been about 5,000 students.
4,500 students.
Wow.
And our kids need to be in school all day. That wasn't a decision that we needed to make because we could get a portion of Beaumont United up. So that was off the table. We also looked at Smith as an option, Smith Middle School, because it was a previous high school. Well, we are in partnership with Phelan Leadership Academies for Smith, so we don't have authority over that facility.
Gotcha.
We don't have that authority, so we couldn't use that. So we landed on a solution for getting our kids back in school as quickly as possible. What we're going to do is continue restoring Fair Price and Beaumont United. We are going to move the students from South Park Middle School to King and to Vincent. We're going to rezone them. We use the Lavaca as a guiding line to determine which students, if you're north of Lavaca versus south of Lavaca, would determine whether you will go to King or whether you will go to Vincent. We've already sent that information out to parents and students so they are aware. So that will free up that South Park facility. The ninth graders at Beaumont United, beginning on October 14th, will go to school at that South Park facility.
Now let me back up a second. So the kids, the middle school kids, will be split between ML King and Vincent. Do the parents have an option of where their kids can go?
No, that's a great question. So parents are assigned, students are assigned to King or Vincent based on their address, and that Lavaca as the new dividing line. If, however, they were not pleased with those assignments, the other option for them is Smith Middle School.
Okay, and that's the only other option.
That's the only other option because on the previous slide, I showed you the enrollments of our middle schools. Our largest middle school right now is Oldham with 892 students, and then I think Marshall has around 862 students. So we know Vincent has had over 900 students before, so I know they have the capacity. King has a capacity for, close to a little over 700 students, 750 students. So we know we had a capacity to serve the students in those facilities. So what we're doing is we're consolidating our resources. All of the teachers from South Park are going to be assigned to King and or Vincent following the children.
Good.
So that we can really increase our students' access to resources. They're going to have access to more teachers, more programs. We'll have additional specialists, behavior specialists, reading interventionists, math interventionists, more support actually on the campuses for the students.
That's good. That's good. So those are some of the benefits that parents can look for as a result of this combining of those schools.
Yes. And I will say that, to our parents and to our community, this was a necessary decision that we had to make. And I know it's painful. And our middle school students are not happy about this transition and having to move, but I know that they are resilient. I know that they will be able to go into their new learning environments and thrive and be successful. So we have to get through this little hump, but I know that our kids will do a fantastic job. But I am excited that I was able to say to Beaumont United and Fair Price parents, hey, your kids are going back to school on October the 14th. So that was important, and that was critical, and that was why we had to make this necessary decision. And I have received some feedback of concerns in the community, but at the end of the day, it's the right decision and it's the best decision.
Correct.
So if you could pull up that timeline, I would share a little bit about what's happening right now. We started this week with a marathon of meetings to inform our community, our parents. We held a press conference. We met with South Park parents and Beaumont United parents, just so they can understand what was happening, why it was happening. And I wanted to hear their concerns and hear their feedback and try to respond to as many questions as we possibly could about this transition and what's happening. So today, South Park students are actually participating in orientation. They did that. They're doing that right now this morning at both King and Vincent, where they have opportunity to see their new schools, you know, meet the teachers a little bit, just kind of become acclimated to those new campuses. Tomorrow is South Park students' last day at South Park.
At South Park.
It's a half a day.
Just for South Park.
Just for South Park.
Because, you know, when this airs, I want people to know that it's just for South Park.
It was just for South Park on October the 4th for one half day, so that the teachers can continue preparing. Teachers will be moving over the weekend to their new schools and, you know, setting up their classroom spaces. And
let's also say this, that they won't have to be moving their stuff. The district is going to provide workers to help move their stuff.
Yes, the district moves. The teachers don't have to move their things. They are responsible for it. They'll pack their personal things, because all they move are their personal things. They'll pack their personal things. We have movers who are scheduled to arrive on Friday and Saturday. They'll move all the teachers' things to their new location, so teachers will be able to start unpacking and get their classroom spaces set up for Vincent and King's new students to arrive on Monday, October the 7th.
Correct. And so you're already working out schedules for those new students.
So they will receive new schedules on Monday.
Correct.
At their new site, and then we'll just keep moving.
Another question before we go on to the next slide is, what happens to those South Park students who are in sports, who are in the band, extracurricular activities? What happened to those students as they merge into their new middle schools?
So those students are going to be able to integrate into those sports immediately. We have South Park students participated in their final athletic games at South Park this week.
That's good.
So the athletic schedule has been revised somewhat, but those students are going to integrate directly into King and Vincent. They don't have to try out. Parents don't have to incur any cost.
Good.
So they're going to integrate directly into those sports. Our athletic director has already been in contact with the coaches, so we're going to have more coaches and we're going to have more kids. So, you know, the coaches are excited.
Yeah, I can imagine.
They are excited about this. So I just want to assure parents that, you know, students are going to be able to participate immediately. We're not going to have a cost associated with, you know, this decision to move our kids. We're not going to put that burden on our parents. One of the questions that came up, and that was listed in our frequently asked questions, was about the uniforms. Middle school students all wear uniforms.
Correct.
6th grade and 7th grade across the district are consistent. So it's only 8th grade parents that would have that burden, but we're going to take on that burden and get uniform shirts, you know, for the students for the 8th grade. We're going to do that. We're working on that right now to try to get it for them. We may not have it on Monday, but we'll definitely try to have it for them by the end of that first week to give them a uniform shirt.
Another thing, I just want to digress a bit. That 418 students at South Park, will they be equally divided? Or, I mean,
it's not equally divided because you look at capacity. So more students are going to Vincent because of the capacity of the facility. Okay. So I don't have the exact breakdown, but I know more are going to Vincent than are going to King.
Okay, good. So what are your long-term, your 2020 plans?
So our 2020 plans, we're going to continue this configuration for the remainder of the school year for Beaumont United High School. Remember, the 9th graders will be at the South Park facility beginning on the 14th of October.
Gotcha.
The 10th through 12th graders will remain on the usable portions of Beaumont United. We will continue to restore that campus throughout the remainder of this year. In the summer of 2020, we'll move back to Beaumont United High School's main campus. So the 9th graders will move to return to the main campus in a nice, you know, restored
new facility. Yeah.
And we will transition the South Park current facility to the South Park Early College High School.
Good.
And the reason for that is, you know, the Early College High School is our newest high school. We want to expand that program to at least 600 students.
Wow.
And we are in partnership with LIT.
And it's right there.
It's right there in the backyard.
And
it makes sense logistically because those students take courses at LIT.
That's good.
So we will be very close to LIT now, so we can actually continue to grow that program. And it is a program where any student can participate. And I want to make certain I clarify that for the community. When we start recruiting in the fall for early college, looking at our 8th grade students, please make certain that you attend the interest meetings, because we want parents and students to take advantage of an opportunity to graduate high school with an associate's degree and a high school diploma. That is so powerful. And students don't have to be A students or B students. They just have to have the drive and the will to want to enroll in college courses and high school courses with support from the district. The district pays the cost of tuition.
Wow.
So when you graduate from early college, I mean, you have all of these college hours that transfer to colleges and universities across the state. That saves parents so much money. And our partnership with LIT, you know, for those students, for some of those students to enroll in LIT, and they can finish up a few courses and have those process operating degrees and those, you know, those program opportunities that enable them to start a career very soon after high school.
At 19, 20 years old.
At 19, 20 years old. Earning really good salaries.
And that's one of the things that parents need to take advantage of. I mean, it's an opportunity.
And I think the perception is that, oh, this school is just for certain students. You have to be a A student or a B student to attend early college, and that is not correct. And I want to make certain that everyone understands it. But it's new, and because, you know, this is our beginning our 4th year, so we're still promoting and marketing and advertising for the program. But I want to expand it.
Now the only difference is they don't have all of the extracurricular activities, football, basketball, and all that kind of stuff.
Because of
the focus.
Because you are engaged in college level coursework and high school coursework. So traditional early colleges are on the campus of a university. And they don't have sports. I mean, we have activities for the children. We have clubs, we have organizations.
Yeah.
They have intramural sports and little sports teams and UIL, but not full sports teams.
Yeah, but then they go support the other schools.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But now, Dr. Allen, you said failure is not an option.
Failure is not an option. We are not going to fail our children. You know, you see a picture on that slide that shows you Beaumont United High School students and Westbrook High School students. And then you see our students at the STEM program. And then you see our students at Lamar University. Yeah. Our goal is to, number one, we're graduating students prepared for the next generation. But we're going to do that by maximizing the time and making every moment matter. It is critical to me that we do the work that we need to do for the support of the kids. And I will speak it because I believe it. We're not going to fail.
We're not going to fail.
We're not going to fail our kids.
The community is going to partner together and make sure that we come together and make this thing happen.
Yes. And I appreciate partners like you and other ministers and the community members that have truly been in support of the decision that has been needed.
Correct.
During this time. And it is a challenge. And I want to say to our parents in the community who have an opportunity to watch this, it is a challenge, but I learned a long time ago in life that we can do hard things. And just because something is difficult or challenging doesn't mean you don't need to do it. And we know that this is the best decision, and we're going to see the fruits of this very soon. And I want to make certain that our parents understand so they can help motivate our children that this is part of life. Change happens. And when change happens, you have to adapt. You have to move on. You have to grow and get better and work through. You don't run, you don't hide. You face it head on, and you are better for it. And I know at the end, we're going to be better as a district and as a community. We're going to be stronger in the end.
Okay, now let me ask you this. What about waivers? I mean, waivers or makeup days. What are you going to do about those?
So we modified our calendar because Friday the 4th and Monday, October 14th, were originally scheduled as student holidays. The 14th was a student holiday and a teacher staff development day. So we modified our schedule so that all our parents know that this Friday coming up and Monday the 14th, students will come to school for those 2 days. We don't know from the state whether or not we will be granted waivers or not. We may be granted waivers, but we haven't received that information yet, especially for Beaumont United and Fail Price, because they will have missed a significant number of instructional days. So we are waiting to hear that information. As soon as we have more, we'll share it with our parents.
Okay. Now, let's talk about transportation for the kids.
Yes.
Okay.
So all our students will be transported. Our South Park students who are going to be rezoned to King and Vincent, they will be transported. We're going to transport Beaumont United High School students who need transportation to that 9th grade facility.
Correct.
And of course, our 10th through 12th grade students will be transported.
And now the timing of that, especially for the middle school kids, they don't take into school until what, 8:45? So it's not like the parents have to get them up at 5 o'clock in the morning to...
No, that's a great question because we are actually distributing the bus schedules to students today and tomorrow so they can know their new bus routes, their new times. But because middle school is our latest starting group of schools, students, I mean, they'll have to be up a little bit earlier if they walk to school to catch that bus, but it's okay.
Yeah. Now, I want the parents to know that all of this information can be found on the BISD website.
Yes.
And if you go to the information regarding post-Imelda recovery and transition, all of that information that she shared today is right there and available to you. So all you have to do is just go to their website, bmtisd.com, and they can get that information, Dr. Allen.
And I would like to add that within that presentation, there are frequently asked questions that we may not have covered here today.
Correct.
But parents can go there if you're a South Park parent or BU parent, and you can look up those questions and get your questions answered. We are going to continue to push out information and update that page so that we have the most recent and up-to-date current information. I will share that for Beaumont United, the start time for the 10th through 12th campus will remain the same.
Okay.
The 9th grade campus will start 10 minutes earlier, so school will begin at 7.
Gotcha.
It'll begin a little bit earlier.
Okay.
So we'll send that information to parents. It'll be on our frequently asked questions because the Beaumont United students who are in band, who are in athletics, who are in sports, we're going to transport them back to the campus.
Right. I was just
so
going to ask
that
that
they
question.
can participate after school. So they need to get out just a little bit earlier. So that's why we made that slight adjustment to their schedule.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to tell the parents today, Dr. Allen?
Just that I appreciate their support. I appreciate how they are going to continue to support the work of the district and to encourage the schools. We need your help, parents. Please, I know this has been something that we didn't expect with the tropical storm coming through, but we need our parents. One thing I want to make certain that our parents prioritize is students coming to school every day. We have missed enough school for the year. So I need my kids in school every day. So please, if we can make that a priority for the remainder of the year, I know we will see much success. And of course, stay in partnership with your child's school. That is so critical that we have parental support as we continue to work with our students and prepare them and get them ready for the next generation.
That's right. And that's why when you're on the district website, go ahead and sign up for Parent Self-Serve. That way you'll always be aware of what your child is doing in school.
Yes.
Now remember, every moment matters. Hey, listen, I want to thank Dr. Allen for coming today and sharing with us about this recovery plan that her and her staff have for this upcoming year. Thank you for joining us on What's Happening in Our Neighborhood, and we will see you next time on our broadcast.
I am Shannon Allen, and I am thrilled to serve as the new superintendent of the Beaumont Independent School District. Beaumont ISD is uniquely positioned at the cusp of exponential change. Change in the success of our schools and change in the perception of our district.
You know, Dr. Allen is a leader. She takes charge, and that is very important.
We were a great team. We bounce things off of each other, but she's just inspiring. And she has a vision for where she wants this district to be. She always has.
I envision that through high expectations and quality instruction executed daily, we will see the breakthrough that is within our reach and change not only Beaumont ISD, but the entire community. I also envision that all of our campuses will be high performing and families that have left the district will return. As the new superintendent, you can expect me to make decisions that are in the best interest of the students, first and foremost. I will always lead with integrity and fairness and a commitment to doing my very best work each and every day. I will be visible on our campuses and in our community. While I cannot promise perfection, what I can promise is an extraordinary effort to make a difference in the lives of our students.
It's not unusual to see her walking down the hallways, peeping into the classrooms to check and see how instruction is going. She's all about providing quality instruction to our students because they deserve it. She pushes the leadership team to stay on top of the staff and teachers so that we are setting SMART goals for our students, so that we are pushing education and we are making sure that our students receive quality education, not just in preparation for STAR courses, but in preparation for life.
Beaumont is my community. I am 100% invested in the students that walk through the doors of one of our 28 campuses. This is a great responsibility that I do not take lightly. I can't do it alone. I need the support of our parents and community to make the difference that our students deserve. BISD is on the rise, and I can't wait to continue the journey. To the BISD family, students, and community, get ready because the best is yet to come.